Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. We are on chapter 18. We are rereading the pastimes of Pṛthu Maharaj, only the translation. So would someone like to read today this chapter? Let's see. Payal, you want to read? You have not yet read.
I can read, but maybe I need to drop in between because I need to drop my daughter. Maybe 15 minutes is okay?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Pṛthu Maharaj milks the earth planet. Chapter 18. Text 1. The great saint Maitreya continued to address Vidur. My dear Vidur, at that time after the planet Earth finished her prayers, King Pṛthu was still not pacified and his lips trembled in great anger. Although the planet Earth was frightened, she made up her mind and began to speak as follows in order to convince the king. Text 2. My dear Lord, please pacify your anger completely and hear patiently whatever I submit before you. Please turn your kind attention to this. I may be very poor, but I learn man takes the essence of knowledge from all places, just as a bumblebee collects honey. Bumblebee collects honey from each and every flower. Text 3. To benefit all human society, not only in this life, but in the next, the great seers and sages have prescribed various methods conducive to the prosperity of people in general. Text 4. One who follows the principles and instructions enjoyed by the great sages of the past can utilize these instructions for practical purposes, such as person can very easily enjoy life and pleasures. Text 5. A foolish person who manufactures his own ways and means through mental speculation and does not recognize the authority of sages who lay down unimpeachable directions is simply unsuccessful again and again in his attempts. Text 6. My dear king, the seeds, roots, herbs, and grains, which were created by Lord Brahma in the past, are now being used by non-devotees who are devoid of all spiritual understanding. Text 7. My dear king, not only are grains and herbs being used by non-devotees, but as far as I am concerned, I am not being properly maintained. Indeed, I am being neglected by kings who are not punishing these rascals who have turned into thieves by using grains for sense gratification. Consequently, I have hidden all these seeds which were meant for the performance of sacrifice. Text 8. Due to being stocked for a very long time, all the grain seeds within me have certainly deteriorated. Therefore, you should immediately arrange to take these seeds out by the standard process, which is recommended by the acharyas or sastras. Text 9 and 10. O great hero, protector of living entities, if you desire to relieve the living entities by supplying them sufficient grain, and if you desire to nourish them by taking milk from me, you should make arrangements to bring a calf suitable for this purpose, and a pot in which the milk can be kept, as well as a milkman to do the work. since I will very much affectionate towards my calf, your desire to take milk from me will be fulfilled. Text 11. My dear king, may I inform you that you have to make the entire surface of the globe level. This will help me even when the rainy season has ceased. Rainfall comes by the mercy of King Indra. Rainfall will rain on the surface of globe, always keeping the earth moist, tended, and thus it will auspicious for all kinds of production. Text 12. After hearing the auspicious and pleasing words of the planet Earth, the king accepted them. He then transformed Swambhuva Manu into a calf and milked all the herbs and grains from the earth in the form of cow, keeping them in the cupped hands. 613. Others who were as intelligent as King Pṛthu all took the essence out of the earthly planet. Indeed, everyone took this opportunity to follow in the footsteps of King Pṛthu and get whatever he desired from the planet Earth. Text 14. All the great sages transformed Praspati into calf and making the sense into a pot. They milked all kinds of Vedic knowledge of purify words, mind, and hearing. Text 15. All the demigods made Indra, the king of heaven, into a calf, and from the earth they milked the beverage soma, which is nectar. Thus they become very powerful in mental speculation and bodily and sensual strength. 16. The sons of Diti and the demons transformed Prahlad Maharaj, who was born in the Ashura family, into a calf, and they extracted various kinds of liquor and beer, which they put into a pot made of iron. 17. The inhabitants of Gandharva Loka and Apsara Loka made Vishnu into a calf, and they drew the milk into lotus flower pot. The milk took the shape of sweet musical art and beauty. Text 18. The fortunate inhabitants of Siddhaloka as well as the inhabitants of Vidyadhar Loka transformed the great sage
No,
Kapila
it's
into
the
a calf.
fortunate inhabitants of Pitraloka who preside over the funeral ceremonies made Aryama into a calf. With great faith, they milked kavya, food offered to the ancestors, into an unbaked earthen pot. Then the text 19 is what you're reading.
Oh, okay. I missed. After its inhabitants of Siddhaloka as well as the inhabitants of Vidyadhar transformed the great sage Kapila into a calf and making the whole sky into a pot. They milked out specific yogic mystic powers, beginning with the anima indeed. The inhabitants of Vidyadhar Loka acquired the art of flying in the sky. Text 20. Others, also the inhabitants of planets known as Kimpursa Loka, made the demon Maya into a calf, and they milked out mystic powers by which one can disappear immediately from another's vision and appear again in the different form. It's so strange. Text 21. Then the Yaksha, Rakshasa, ghost, and witches who are habituated to eating flesh transformed Lord Shiva, incarnation Rudra, Bhutnath, into a calf and milked out beverage made of blood and put them into a pot made of skull. Text 22. Thereafter, cobras and snakes without holes, large snakes, scorpions, and many other poisonous animals took poison out of the planet Earth as their milk and kept this poison in snake holes. They made a calf out of takshaka. Text 23 and 24. The four-legged animals, like the cows, made a calf out of bull who carries Lord Shiva and made a milking pot out of the forest. Thus they got fresh green grass to eat. Ferocious animals like tigers transformed a lion into a calf, and thus they were able to get flesh for milk. The birds made a calf out of Garuda and took milk from planet Earth in the form of moving insects and non-moving planets and grasses. Can I stop here?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah,
Sure,
then I
thank
can
you.
I can continue. Yeah.
Okay,
Please.
thank you. From
Yeah.
text 26.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'll continue, right?
Please.
Yeah, text 26. The planet Earth supplied
Yeah,
everyone.
25. I'm sorry.
Please,
Text
25. Okay, so text 25. The trees made a calf out of the banyan tree, and thus they derived milk in the form of many delicious juices. The mountains transformed the Himalayas into a calf, and they milk a variety of minerals into a pot made of the peaks of hills. Text 26. The planet Earth supplied everyone his respective food. During the time of King Pṛthu, the earth was fully under the control of the king. Thus, all the inhabitants of the earth could get their food supply by creating various types of calves and putting their particular types of milk in various pots. Text 27. My dear Vidura, chief of the Kurus, in this way King Pṛthu and all the others who subsist on food created different types of calves and milked out their respective eatables. Thus, they received their various foodstuffs, which were symbolized as milk. Text 28. Thereafter, King Pṛthu was very satisfied with the planet Earth, for she sufficiently supplied all food to various living entities. Thus, he developed an affection for the planet Earth, just as if she were his own daughter. Text 29. After this, the king of all kings, Maharaj Pṛthu, leveled all rough places on the surface of the globe by breaking up the hills with the strength of his bow. By his grace, the surface of the globe almost became flat. Text 30. To all the citizens of the state, King Pṛthu was as good as a father. Thus, he was visibly engaged in giving them proper subsistence and proper employment for subsistence. After leveling the surface of the globe, he earmarked different places for residential quarters inasmuch as they were desirable. Text 31. In this way, the king founded many types of villages, settlements, and towns and built forts, residences for cowherdsmen, stables for the animals, places for the royal camps, mining places, agricultural towns, and mountain villages. Text 32. Before the reign of King Pṛthu, there was no planned arrangement for different cities, villages, pasturing grounds, etc. Everything was scattered, and everyone constructed his residential quarters according to his own convenience. However, from the time of King Pṛthu, plans were made for towns and villages. Chapter 19. King Pṛthu's 100 horse sacrifices. Text 1. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidur, King Pṛthu initiated the performance of 100 horse sacrifices at the spot where the river Saraswati flows towards the east. This piece of land is known as Brahmavrata, and it was controlled by Swayambhuva Manu. Text 2. When the most powerful Indra, the king of heaven, saw this, he considered the fact that King Pṛthu was going to exceed him in fruitive activities. Thus, Indra could not tolerate the great sacrificial ceremonies performed by King Pṛthu. Text 3. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is present in everyone's heart as the Supersoul, and he is the proprietor of all planets and the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. He was personally present at the sacrifices made by King Pṛthu. Text 4. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharvalok, the great sages, and the residents of Apsaralok all praised him. Text 5. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddhalok and Vidyadharlok, all the descendants of Diti and the demons of the Yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates, headed by Sunanda and Nanda. Text 6. Great devotees who were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narad, and Dattatreya, and masters of mystic powers, headed by Sanak Kumar, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. Text 7. My dear Vidur, in that great sacrifice, the entire land came to be like the milk-producing Kamdenu, and thus, by the performance of Yajna, all daily necessities for life were supplied. Text 8. The flowing rivers supplied all kinds of tastes, sweet, pungent, sour, etc., and very big trees supplied fruit and honey in abundance. The cows, having eaten sufficient green grass, supplied profuse quantities of milk, curd, clarified butter, and similar other necessities. Text 9. King Pṛthu was presented with various gifts from the general populace and predominating the deities of all planets. The oceans and seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of edibles were produced profusely. Text 10. King Pṛthu was dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adokshaja. Because King Pṛthu performed so many sacrifices, he was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. King Pṛthu's opulence, however, could not be tolerated by the King of Heaven, Indra, who tried to impede the progress of his opulence. Text 11. When Pṛthu Maharaj was performing the last horse sacrifice, Ashwamedh Yajna, King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Pṛthu. Text 12. When King Indra was taking away the horse, he dressed himself to appear as a liberated person. Actually, this dress was a form of cheating, for it falsely created an impression of religion. When Indra went into outer space in this way, the great sage Atri saw him and understood the whole situation. Text 30. When the son of King Pṛthu was informed by Atri of King Indra's trick, he immediately became very angry and followed Indra to kill him, calling, "Wait, wait." Text 14. King Indra was fraudulently dressed as a sannyasi, having knotted his hair on his head and smeared ashes all over his body. Upon seeing such dress, the son of King Pṛthu considered Indra a religious man and pious sannyasi. Therefore, he did not release his arrows. Text 15. When Atri Muni saw that the son of King Pṛthu did not kill Indra but returned deceived by him, Atri Muni again instructed him to kill the heavenly king because he thought that Indra had become the lowliest of all demigods due to his impeding the execution of King Pṛthu's sacrifice. Text 16. Being thus informed, the grandson of King Vena immediately began to follow Indra, who was fleeing through the sky in great haste. He was very angry with him, and he chased him just as the king of the vultures chased Ravana. Text 17. When Indra saw that the son of Pṛthu was chasing him, he immediately abandoned his false dress and left the horse. Indeed, he disappeared from that very spot, and the great hero, the son of Maharaj Pṛthu, returned the horse to his father's sacrificial arena. Text 18. My dear Lord Vidura, when the great sages observed the wonderful prowess of the son of King Pṛthu, they all agreed to give him the name Vijitashva. Text 19. My dear Vidura, Indra, being the king of heaven and very powerful, immediately brought a dense darkness upon the sacrificial arena, covering the whole scene. In this way, he again took away the horse, which was chained with golden shackles near the wooden instrument where animals were sacrificed. Text 20. The great sage Atri again pointed out to the son of King Pṛthu that Indra was fleeing through the sky. The great hero, the son of Pṛthu, chased him again. But when he saw that Indra was carrying in his hand a staff with a skull at the top and was again wearing the dress of a sannyasi, he still chose not to kill him. Text 21. When the great sage Atri again gave directions, the son of King Pṛthu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. Upon seeing this, King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress of a sannyasi and, giving up the horse, made himself invisible. Text 22. Then the great hero, Vijitashva, the son of King Pṛthu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with a poor fund of knowledge have adopted the dress of a false sannyasi. It was King Indra who introduced this. Text 23. Whatever different forms Indra assumed as a mendicant because of his desire to seize the horse were symbols of atheistic philosophy. Text 24 to 25. In this way, King Indra, in order to steal the horse from King Pṛthu's sacrifice, adopted several orders of sannyasa. Some sannyasis got naked, and sometimes they wear red garments and pass under the name of Kapalika. These are simply symbolic representations of their sinful activities. these so-called sannyasis are very much appreciated by sinful men because they are all godless atheists and very expert in putting forward arguments and reasons to support their case. We must know, however, that they are only passing as adherents of religion and are not so in fact. Unfortunately, bewildered persons accept them as religious and being attracted to them, they spoil their life. Text 26. Maharaj Pṛthu, who was celebrated as very powerful, immediately took up his bow and arrows and prepared to kill Indra himself, because Indra had introduced such irregular sannyasa orders. Text 27. When the priests and all the others saw Maharaj Pṛthu very angry and prepared to kill Indra, they requested him, O great soul, do not kill him, for only sacrificial animals can be killed in a sacrifice. Such are the directions given by Shastra. Text 28. Dear King, Indra's powers are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic mantras, which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. Text 29. My dear Vidur, after giving the king this advice, the priest who had been engaged in performing the sacrifice called for Indra, the king of heaven, in a mood of great anger. When they were just ready to put the oblation in the fire, Lord Brahma appeared on the scene and forbade them to start the sacrifice. Text 30. Lord Brahma addressed them thus: My dear sacrificial performers, you cannot kill Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that Indra is as good as the supreme personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful assistants of the personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by the performance of this yajna. But you should know that all these demigods are but parts and parcels of Indra, the king of heaven. How then can you kill him in this great sacrifice?
So it's 7:30.
Yeah.
Let's see how many texts are there. Or shall we continue tomorrow? There's quite a few. Or what? Up to you.
I think tomorrow.
Yeah. We just finished.
Till 30.
Yeah. Till 31 then. All right. Thank you so
31
much.
31 we didn't, right? 31 will start
Yeah.
tomorrow.
31 we'll start.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.